Just picture this, more than €100 million could change the fate of a Real Madrid star, and he's already given the green light for a transfer that's going to leave a lot of people speechless. And that's not all, a young talent is ready to follow in the footsteps of a club legend, but there's another more experienced name who could be reborn in a completely unexpected role. Oh, and to top it off, one of our midfield warriors is promising to come back in full force in the very first game of the season. If you think you've seen it all, you're not ready for what's coming. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel now, turn on the notification bell, and join the craziest Madridista crew on the internet. Here, we live Real Madrid 24 hours a day, no filter, no breaks. Family, take a deep breath, because the bomb that dropped this week comes with a number that scares any Madridista, €100 million. This isn't some social media rumor, it's not made-up gossip, it's information straight from the Fishages website. And here's what they're saying: Rodrygo has already made his decision. He wants to leave the Santiago Bernabeu this summer. And it's not just any adventure. The destination he has in mind is Manchester City, Pep Guardiola's team, the man who has put together some of the most lethal attacks modern football has ever seen. And to be clear, the Brazilian isn't just thinking about it, he's already given the okay to the English club's project. He believes this is the right step for his career. The kind of decision that could change not only his future but also Real Madrid's. Now you might be wondering, but why? Why would a player who's already lifted trophies, scored decisive goals, want to swap the sacred white for blue? The answer starts on the bench. Under the new coach, Xabi Alonso, the hierarchy has shifted. The Spaniard is expected to bet heavily on Franco Mastantuono on the right wing, a young talent who arrived with the status of a future star. Add to that Vini Jr. and Mbappe closing out the attacking trio, and you can see how the space for the number 11 is shrinking dangerously. And here comes the second layer of this story. Rodrygo has a goal that goes beyond the club. He wants to be a starter at the 2026 World Cup. And who's whispering this advice in his ear? Carlo Ancelotti, current coach of the Brazilian national team, who has already made it clear, if he doesn't get enough minutes at Real Madrid, he could lose his spot in the Seleção. So, this isn't just about money, it's also about survival at the highest level. On the English side, the interest is much more than a rumor. City have their eyes on him as a key piece to replace Jack Grealish, who's already gone to Everton, and also Savinho, who's likely headed to Tottenham. Guardiola sees in Rodrygo the kind of rare winger, fast, skillful, able to cut inside or go wide, who can still keep the team's rhythm sky high. Now, make no mistake, there's still no official offer on the table. But behind-the-scenes talks are already happening, with both clubs' boards preparing to start direct negotiations. Real Madrid, for their part, know that if they're going to sell, it won't be for less than €100 million, and that number is solid. So, Madridistas? Do you think Real should sell Rodrygo for €100 million? Or is it madness to let him go now? I want to see everyone commenting. While some players have their heads outside the Santiago Bernabeu, dreaming of new horizons and projects, others want exactly the opposite, to write a story worthy of becoming a legend within Real Madrid. And this is where Arda Guler comes in. This Turkish kid isn't just another promise who pops up and fades away, he has a very clear goal: to follow in the footsteps of none other than Luka Modric, one of the greatest midfielders ever to wear the white shirt. According to The Athletic, Guler is absolutely thrilled with the arrival of Xabi Alonso. Since the very first training sessions, his smile has given it away, he knows his time has come. The new coach has already made it clear that he trusts the Turkish talent and will give him far more minutes this season. For a young player, that's like being handed a lifetime trust contract. And the kid's ambition is huge. Guler doesn't just want to play well. He wants to wear the Real Madrid shirt until the end of his career, just like Modric did, building a path marked by titles, respect, and worldwide admiration. This confidence isn't just media talk. You can see it in how he trains, how he positions himself, and how he approaches every ball. The scenario also works in his favor. With Jude Bellingham out at the start of the season due to injury and Modric already gone from the squad, Guler emerges as the creative brain who can dictate the team's tempo. It's the golden chance any young player dreams of, to be the mastermind of a Real Madrid starting a new era. Of course, the road isn't completely clear. Franco Mastantuono, another newly arrived gem, also plays a similar role, with the ability to control the game and create chances. That means Xabi Alonso will have to rack his brain to figure out how to get them both on the pitch, maybe changing the formation or giving one of them more freedom to play further forward. But the truth is that Guler has already shown, even with very few minutes last season, that he has that special something fans recognize instantly. That perfectly timed through ball, that dribble that breaks lines, that veteran-like calm even though he's young enough to be the youngest in the squad. Now, with more playing time, the coaching staff's trust, and a much more central role, Arda Guler is ready to show the world what happens when talent and opportunity meet at Real Madrid. And if the story goes the way he dreams, in a few years we'll be talking about him the way we talk about Modric today, a living legend of the Bernabeu. Now, take a deep breath, Madridista, because in the middle of all the tension about departures and changes, we finally have some news that will make your heart beat a little calmer. Valverde, the true engine of our midfield, is confident that he will be 100% ready for the La Liga opener against Osasuna. And this isn't just speculation or over-the-top optimism, no. According to information from El Chiringuito, he himself said it, without hesitation, leaving no room for doubt. Yes, I'll be ready against Osasuna for sure. That short and direct sentence is practically music to our ears. For those who haven't been following closely, it's worth remembering, Valverde recently had an issue with his right leg, which kept him out of the friendly against WSG Tirol. A tough blow, considering the team has already been through an exhausting run of matches, including the wear and tear of the Club World Cup. But the Uruguayan is not the type to let himself be shaken. This guy has already proven 1,000 times that he has a privileged physique and a steel mentality. And here's an important detail. Real Madrid even tried to request La Liga to postpone the opening match, arguing that the schedule after the Club World Cup was insane, with practically no rest. But the organization didn't want to hear it, stood firm, and kept the date. The result? The team starts the season with very little time to breathe and with an immediate need to be at its best physically. That's where Valverde's role becomes even more crucial. Xabi Alonso's new system calls for 2 forwards and extremely offensive fullbacks, which means the midfield needs to be even more solid and smart to avoid counterattacks and keep control of the game. And if there's one guy in the squad who was born for this, it's Feed. He's not just physical strength. He has game reading, intensity, that ability to show up and attack in the 90th minute and in the same play, sprint back to intercept a ball in defense. We've seen it before, and seeing it again right at the start of the season could be the difference between starting with a win or stumbling. And let's be honest, Valverde on the pitch is synonymous with confidence. He's the kind of player who, when he's out there, makes everyone around him play more calmly, knowing there's someone covering, pressing, and fighting for every inch of space. If he says he'll be ready, we can believe it, because Feed doesn't speak lightly. And to wrap up today's video on a high note, get this, Xabi Alonso is moving the pieces on the board in a way no one expected. He's testing David Alaba as a midfielder. Yes, you heard that right. In the friendly against Leganés, at the Valdebebas training center, the Austrian wasn't placed in defense or at left back, but right in the heart of the pitch, in the central area. And look, this isn't some crazy invention or meaningless experiment. At Bayern Munich, he already played like this, and not just for 1 or 2 games. In fact, back then, Alonso himself was still on the pitch as a player and knows very well what Alaba can bring to that role. And that's exactly what makes this decision so interesting. The timing of this change is absolutely crucial in Alaba's career. Today, in central defense, he's the 5th option in the squad. To make matters worse, even at left back, a position he's mastered, 3 players are ahead of him in the hierarchy. Add to that the fact that he's suffered one of the most serious injuries possible, an anterior cruciate ligament tear, and was sidelined for over a year, and his future in Madrid has been left in doubt. But Alonso seems to have seen something many haven't, a possibility for a restart. In midfield, Alaba can use his greatest strengths, his exceptional vision, pinpoint passing, and calm decision-making under pressure. It's a position where he doesn't have to rely so much on the explosive physicality he's lost a bit of after the injury, but can instead make up for it with intelligence and tactical awareness. Think about it, placing a player with his experience and technique in midfield could be a huge asset, especially in a system where ball control and quality build-up from the back are essential. And more than that, it could give Real Madrid a new tactical option without spending in the market. For Alaba, this is more than just a simple position change. It's as if Alonso extended his hand and said, "You still have a lot to give, let's write one last epic chapter of your story at Real Madrid together." And between us, it would be an incredible way to crown his career at the club, proving that talent and intelligence remain powerful weapons in modern football, even when the physical level is no longer what it once was. Real Madrid never sleeps, and neither do we. Subscribe to the channel now, leave your like, and comment on which of these news made you most excited or worried. Here, it's Real Madrid until the very last minute.